This week, Craft Roulette Challenge inspired one of my most meaningful cards yet. Using an interactive design, a stunning 3D embossing folder, and a color palette inspired by my recent son's wedding. Summer wedding. I'll show you how this elegant keepsake came together. Let me show you his color palette that inspired the whole card. Hi everyone, welcome back to Alyssa's Corner. I'm Alyssa and I'm so happy you're here today. I'm sharing my entry for this week's Craft Roulette where the 4 parameters were project, interactive card, color, summer, element, here comes a bride, random, ink, edging. As always, the challenge is that all 4 parameters are inclusive, not exclusive. And it's also about finding a creative way to incorporate each one into a single design. Let's jump in. When I saw the word "Here Comes a Bride," I immediately knew I wanted to use one of my favorite embossing folders from Altenew, called Enchanted Beginnings. What made this project even more meaningful is that my inspiration came from my son's recent wedding. Summer wedding, like I showed you, and their wedding colors were terracotta, ivory, and gold. And I thought those warm, elegant tones would be a beautiful interpretation of the summer color parameter. And instead of bright colors, bright tropical colors, I imagined like a warm, late summer wedding filled with soft gold, light, and romantic florals, and that vision became the foundation of my entire card. Let me show you what I did. For the front, I designed 2 gate panels that open like elegant garden doors. To give them a luxurious feel, I use Glimmer Paper, and it catches the light beautifully and adds just the right amount of sparkle without overwhelming the design. One small detail, I used 2 different Glimmer Papers by accident and then realized they had 2 different finishes. Let me show you. That bright one was from Walmart, and this one was from Michael's. You can see the difference? I preferred this one, the brighter version. The floral arrangement was created with the Altenew Happy Blossom stamp set and cording layering stencil. This one right there. That's the one that I've used. And I love how the layering stencil make it to build realistic flowers while keeping everything cohesive. I colored those blossom in a kind of a rich terracotta color and some fresh green foliage to echo the wedding palette. And I arranged them like you can see, like in a cascade across the front of the gates. And this design was inspired by a recent post from Yana Spankula. To finish that floral coaster, I added some gem to the flower centers for a subtle touch of sparkle. One of my favorite parts of this card is the interactive element. When the gates open, they reveal the bride and groom embossed on the inside panel. I created that panel using the Altenew Enchanted Beginnings 3D embossing folder on an Ivory watercolor cardstock. I chose the watercolor paper because its texture enhances the embossing depth. The rays detailed in the bride gowns become even more pronounced, and the heavier cardstock adds that beautiful dimension. Rather than adding color to the embossed image, I decided to leave it mostly ivory so the texture could become the star of the design. Sometimes less really is more. And to tie everything together, I added those splatter, whichever you want to call it, throughout the card to coordinate with the gold matting and sentiment. And for the random parameter, ink edging, I softly inked the edge of my layers to add definition and depth while maintaining the elegant look I was going for. Those little finishing touches may seem subtle, but they really help each layer stand apart and give the entire project a polished appearance. The inside of the card continues the floral theme with a coordinating stamped image, leaving plenty of room to write a personal message. Because the card folds into a display style, it can also be left standing on a shelf as a keepsake, making it perfect for a wedding or anniversary celebration. This card was especially meaningful to create because it reminds me of such a beautiful day for our family. And I love when a Craft Roulette challenge pushes me to think beyond the obvious. The summer color parameter became a warm wedding palette. The bride's element inspired the beautiful embossed scene, and everything came together into an interactive design that tells a story. I think that's one of the things I enjoy most about Craft Roulette. It encourages in ways I might not have explored otherwise. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed this project, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps my channel grow. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What detail was your favorite? The floral gatefold, the embossed bride and groom reveal, or the warm terracotta color palette? Until next time, keep creating, keep inspiring, and remember, from Alyssa's corner to yours, happy crafting, everybody.